Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Top Tier Sports. It's Thursday. It's NFL Day. Let's get right into it. So far, we've covered two divisions in the past 2 weeks for the NFL, as that's our current trend right now, with those two divisions being the AFC East and the NFC East. Uh, Next up, we're going to jump back to the NFC, and we're going to dive down into the South, with the four teams in the NFC South being the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Carolina Panthers. Now, as the past few episodes, we're going to start from bottom up. Brief description about each team, why I have them, where I have them, if I believe they're going to have a winning record or not, if I believe they're going to make playoffs or not. So, with that, last place, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is anyone really surprised? I mean, possibly. I doubt every single person out there has Buccaneers finishing last in their division, but I would bet that most do. This is the only team in the division that doesn't have dynamic players, excuse me, uh, on their offense compared to the other three. I don't see Fitzmagic saving them. I don't see Jameis eating W's. I still see them lacking a quality running back. So all around, no bright spot on that offense aside from Mike Evans in my mind. But he can't do it all, especially as a receiver. And now one of their cornerbacks is serving a 4-game suspension, so add that to the list of team problems. All in all, not great for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. I expect them at the bottom again. Losing record, no playoffs. Third place. This was by far the toughest decision for me to make, but I actually have the Carolina Panthers here. Picking between second and third was the toughest, as these two teams can be so close to each other. Last year, the Panthers had a very hot start and looked like real competitors until the second half of the season came. They fell apart and pretty much turned into what we've been calling as pretenders. I don't think they have that good of a receiving core still. I don't care that some other people are saying that it's the best in Cam's career. It's still not good. Who cares if it's the best if you're going from like a 3 out of 10 to 4 out of 10? Which that's not where I have them, but still not a great receiving core. I don't think Cam will stay healthy for the whole year, so I expect them to lose a couple games while he's out, depending how long he's out for. While also sticking on their injuries, Luke Kuechly needs to find a way to stay on the field all year, as well as Greg Olsen. All in all, a lot of injuries for this team, and especially with those injuries being key players and their injury past, I have those injuries looking around, and I see the Panthers ending around 500 this year after all is said and done, but still missing playoffs. The Atlanta Falcons, second in the division. As I said before, the toughest part of this whole division is separating the second and third teams. We saw as the Falcons and Panthers seemed pretty comparable last year. Each had their bright moments, each had their awful moments. The Falcons had no consistency. They could go from scoring 40 points to giving up 40, and that needs to change. However, I see it changing. I think this is going to be a great year for Matt Ryan and Julio, where they can connect for not only a ton of yards, but also more touchdowns than usual, and still get wins without sacrificing one of those other two. Devontae Freeman is the main guy behind back, and I really like this trio of Ryan, Freeman, and Julio Jones. I think it can do a lot of damage as long as Freeman can stay healthy, and that way there's not as much pressure on the throwing game, because last year, even when he was out and Tevin Coleman was at running back, there was still the idea that you had a pass first mentality, as Tevin Coleman was known as more the receiving back as opposed to a true running back for the team. Calvin Ridley had a very good year for them last year, and I see him jumping into the number 2 receiving role on the team by the end of this year, surpassing Sanu. So he is a very bright spot for them. But Sanu, being your second or third receiver, is still not bad by any means of the word. Vic Beasley Jr. and the defense need to be a bit better than they were last year, and that can be the difference as to how many more games they can win so they don't end 7-9 again. But I think it's possible, and I have them propelling into the number 2 spot this coming year, with a winning record, probably around 9-7, not that much different than the Panthers. As I said, they're pretty interchangeable, but still missing the playoffs at that 9-7 record, or roughly just above. Just a winning record, but not by much in general. Finally, first place, the New Orleans Saints. it would be tough to have anybody other than the Saints in the spot for any type of predictor out there. It's just so they're all around a great team. They have the most dynamic offense in the division with one of, if not the best trios in my mind, in the league of Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas. The defense can find a way to be a bit more sound, hopefully, for them this coming year. But even that being said, they did well last year, and the offense is so dynamic that they can keep them in the game all alone and will carry them through most games. It's tough for a defense to lose a game for a team when the offense is putting up 30 plus points every week. Now, at this point in time, let's get one thing straight. All those New Orleans fans out there, we are starting fresh. This is your season to go out. You have a great team. Not much has changed from last year. And I need you to prove yourself that you deserve to be one of the best in the NFC and maybe even make it to the Super Bowl. If you fall short this year, this is on you. And I don't want to hear anything like, oh, well, we could have won the Super Bowl last year if it wasn't for that whole no pass interference call. No, screw that. That's all bullshit. You need to be serious. Your team is too good for that. If you cannot provide results this year, then it's on you. The refs aren't going to blow it for you, not a second year in a row, not to that substantial amount. So let's see what you can do this year. I have you winning the division, obviously, with a winning record, obviously. Playoff bound, most likely a first round bye. In my opinion, I actually have the Saints as the number one team in the NFC, so we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for tuning into Top Tier Sports NFL Thursdays on the Beer League Bench Talk. Make sure you like, comment, especially if you disagree or think that I was completely flipped of where the division will end up. Maybe you had the Buccaneers in first and you think the Saints will just collapse after that call last year. Let us know. Like, comment, smash that subscribe button, and tune in on Monday to catch the next episode of Top Tier Sports. Thank you.